Hello, I am Teresa Baros, and I'm a domestic violence survivor. I would like to tell you the story of how my situation started. It started when I was 15 years old, and I started going out with this boy. He was a boy then, and into our relationship, I just noticed he started being real possessive and mean. I couldn't talk to my girlfriends. I couldn't go anywhere with them, and he was just awful and mean. And then, come to find out, as we were going out with each other and stuff, I got pregnant with my first daughter. And that made it even worse for me because at that point I didn't want to be with him, but I felt I had no choice. I had to stay with him because of the baby. And I did. So we got married December 23rd and 1962. It just went downhill from then. He was horrible, awful. We moved in with his brother for a while, and then from his brothers, we moved into a place of our own, which was kind of nice because he seemed to be a little bit better with me. Bought me a TV, I remember, so we and my little daughter could watch TV. And he was very hard worker. Worked 12 hours a day for a dollar an hour with in a gas station. Very hard worker. And the one thing he did, which I could never understand, was always bring me the check and give it to me. Do what you have to do. Pay the rent. Buy groceries. Did do that. But I wasn't allowed to go anywhere, see anybody, not even my family. So I was really pretty much sequestered from my family and everybody. Um, as time went by, I got pregnant with my son in 1965, and it seemed to me like the burden was getting heavier and heavier, and he would beat me up when he wanted to. If I said something he didn't like, I'd get a slap and I'd be on the floor. So I got to the point of being real remissive. I wouldn't talk much, and then he'd get mad because I didn't talk much. So life went on like that. Then we moved right next door to my mother. Mistake for him, as my mother lived right next door, and the people that I moved next door to were very nice to me, and we were longtime friends with them. And he still pulled his fantastic things he did to me, beat me up. The cops came, they threw him in jail, and all this stuff. But he still did that. And we lived there for about 6 years, and it was better there than anywhere I had lived before. And then we bought a house. I thought things were going to be better because we bought a house, and he'd work on the house, and things would be better. But he just kept going out and coming home drunk and getting abusive, and it went on and on and on until, and I thought I had 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, and I thought, "Oh my God, I have to stay now. Where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do? Can't go with my mother. She works, takes care of herself." Uh, I just stayed and stayed. Well, it was getting worse and worse. He'd come home drunk and do things to me and beat me up. The kids were getting scared. It was getting awful for them, and I felt so bad for them because they were always so scared at night when he'd come home. It was just, like, horrible, horrible. And I thought, I got to do something. I gotta either get away forever or I gotta go hide somewhere where he won't find me." But I thought if I go anywhere in this town, then he'll find me quick. My mom's, my grandmother's, wherever. So it just went on, and finally, one day, he beat me up so bad, he took me to Burt Mill mode and knocked me, threw me out of the car in the middle of the night. And I fell in mud. I remember it was mud beating me up, and, "I'm gonna leave you here, and you could die here." And so I finally got on in the car, and when I got in the car, I remember someone saying, "Focus on one thing, and sometimes that saves you from what's going on around you." And we had a digital clock in our car. It was a Ford Focus or Fusion or something, and I remember looking at the clock and not taking my eyes off of the clock till I got home. And when I got home, my kids, oh, they were scared because I was full of mud, blood, mud, everything you could think of, and I was beat up bad. And I remember going in the bathroom and trying to take my clothes off and taking a shower and cleaning all the mud off of me and stuff like that. And that something in my mind clicked, and I said, "I got to get away from this guy or he's going to kill me." And I decided that's it. So I went to my mom's. A few days later, I snuck away and we took off and went to my mother's house. And of course, he knew where I was at, but he kept harassing me. I was afraid to take the kids to school. I was afraid to do anything. And we had two cars. So I had one car and he had one car. It was my daughter's car. And I went to the lawyer and said, you need to get away from this man. We're putting restraining order on the house. We're doing all this stuff. And they did. So I stayed with my mom. I wouldn't go home. Well, finally, when I got the papers and restraining order, I decided to go home that morning to get some clothes for the kids because I needed some clothes. And when I got there, he was there. They went to school and it looked like somebody had hit me on the head and I was like dizzy when I seen him and I thought, oh my God. But my little boy was there, the youngest child I have. And he ran to the bedroom and he hadn't ran into the bed. And he threw me on a chair and all I saw was something silver and he pointed it to my chest and shot me 2 times in the chest. Close range, right up to me like this, shot me in the chest. And I just remember, like I didn't feel it. I was so scared. I guess adrenaline was in there so bad. I didn't feel it. And I just remember straightening up and blood was gushing out of my chest. He got scared and he backed up and he said, oh my God, I shot her close range and she's not dead. I guess that's what got into his mind. Then he started pacing all over the house and pacing. He said, who's here? And then I told him my little one was there. He was only 5 at the time. When he saw me, he went to run at me and he just got full of blood because he had little white pajamas on, little pajama t-shirt. And then he grabbed him and put him in his arms and he was scared, my poor little boy. And then nobody heard nothing that was going on. And he was ranting and raving and running around the house like a crazy man and saying all kinds of stuff. And to tell you the truth, I was like out of it. And I don't even remember what he said. He was just running around the house like, oh. And then finally, my baby came to me and he sat on my lap. And when he did that, he went in the other room for something. And I put my son down and I ran to the kitchen and I ran to the back door and I ran across the yard to my neighbor's house. She didn't have a fence then. I ran across the yard and I started running to my friend's house. And on the way running, he noticed he started chasing me and he shot me in the leg, in this leg. And I fell down in the middle of the street, but I got right back up. And as I was running, he shot me in the elbow, shattered my elbow. So I couldn't do nothing with this arm, but I was just limping and running. And I was yelling my neighbor's, Linda, Linda. And she says, I could hear you. Hurry, come, she said. And he went right to her door. When I walked, she opened the door and I walked in her door. And I sat like an Indian. I remember, you know how you sit like an Indian like this? In her living room and her kitchen combined. I sat like that on the floor. And she says, what did he do to you? Did he hit you in the face? I said, no, he shot me. Shot me in the nose too. And I was standing, he shot me in the nose and it went through my nose, out my lip, and my 2 teeth shot out. And she says, it doesn't look like it. It looks like he just hit you. I said, no. Well, when I ran to her house, he was standing in front of her house. And she says, I have the door open. And she opened it. And she said, he was right across from her. She goes, I didn't even think of him trying to shoot me. I just tried to get you in there as fast as I could. And she did. By that time, he went back. And my poor little boy was there alone with him. And when he went back, he called my sister-in-law and told her, come and get my boy, Steve. I just killed Teresa, he told her. I guess he figured with all the gunshot wounds I had open wounds all over. I had 13 gunshot wounds. He had 2 guns and he was shooting at me. And I think he had to reload one. I know that this one was a 22. The other one was a 357 Magnum, the one in my chest and my legs. He went back home after he shot me and shot himself. So he died that day. And then he shoved my son out the door first. My sister-in-law picked him up, shoved him out the door, and then he shot. She says, I heard the shotgun shot. He shot himself right away. So he killed himself that day. The whole part of this, and I said it to USC when I went to speak over there and PCC, we need to open a facility so women could be safe. I always said it when we got there. These children need to feel safe and the woman needs to be safe. It needs to be locked up. It needs to be very sequestered so people can know where they can go without men finding them and killing them. They need to know if they go back it's going to go back to the same thing until you decide in your mind you have to get away from this on your own with nobody can force you. They can educate you like you guys are doing, which is great, but a lot of them still go back. Women have to know because a lot of them don't know. They don't know of anything else but to just take it every day of the week. Whatever they throw at you, you take. And it's not right. We're human beings.